Welcome to episode 27 of the Exit Your Matrix show. We are continuing with our look at techniques of mind control, which are the methodologies that individuals and particularly institutions, meaning artificial constructs, utilize to further their agendas. To give us some perspective on the power of symbolism as a method of communication, Confucius said, or wrote, I'm not sure, that signs and symbols rule the world, not words or law. So symbolism is a language, and like any language, anyone who is not literate in it is at a major disadvantage. Their inability to understand what is presented in this form of symbols makes them vulnerable to manipulation. Let's use a movie I've discussed before as the perfect conceptual illustration. And the topics of symbols and fascism, this all made me recall something that seems so appropriate for this very moment. Now that's a symbol. After recovering from your shock at such an image, I'm sure you puzzle at how, in this day and age, this kind of shameful structure, with all its obvious connotations to horrible people and movements and institutions and all forms of human depravity, how could that exist in some backward, dictatorial shithole? Here, let's see, no? Wait, here? At Naval Base Coronado, near San Diego, California? So here we have a complex of 4 L-shaped buildings comprising barracks at this naval base, and I should add that with a map's orientation, of course, being north to south, the arrangement is exactly that of Hitler's Nazi swastika, precisely at a 45-degree angle. And here are some highlights from a June 2022 article on the news site sfgate.com. The Navy claimed that the final design was a mistake, and that initial plans drawn up in the 1960s were ultimately changed, which resulted in the final product we see today. However, an Israeli-American researcher named Avraham Siegel found documentation that the Navy was aware of how the swastika-like L-shaped design would appear from the start, and approved it before construction began, which he then documented in a 2007 letter to the Navy. The New York Times reported at the time that the Navy admitted the configuration had a swastika likeness. It goes on to say that this only became a big deal with the development of mapping sites that show it because, of course, given that it's a military installation, it's a no-fly zone, so it had never been seen before from the air. Mommy? Yes, sweetie. My teacher said the swastika represents fascism and evil. So why is there one down there at a naval base of a country founded on the outward pretension of freedom and justice? Oh, honey. That's what grown-ups call a coincidence. Those men just made a boo-boo when they oriented those grossly obvious swastikas exactly at 45 degrees, just like the Nazis. Now here, have some more screen time. And join me next time when we conclude the use of subversive symbols as a form of mind control, and then wrap this whole section up with a peek at our final technique, false flag attacks. Until then, remember to always do your own thinking. Be well. And just between us, immediately to the west of Forward Barracks Gestapo I was talking about earlier are 2 mighty intriguing buildings with shapes that are awfully, unique? Am I just a conspiracy nut job to suggest those look a lot like aircraft? Of course I am. Nothing to see here either.